This call is from a person currently in a prison in England. All calls are logged and recorded and may be listened to by a member of prison staff. If you do not wish to accept this call, please hang up now.
Day 9, HMP Thameside, IDTS Wing. I think I went to sleep around 7 p.m. from the sleeping tablet that I took earlier. Around 5 p.m. after a long waiting line. I think I woke up at around 11:30 p.m. well rested. I ended up having the longest night of my life because of it. There was no sign of the sun beginning to rise. For many, many, many hours later, there was nothing to do in the meantime. This pill had just put me to sleep and woke me up late at night, and I could not get back to sleep. All I could do was listen to Rastaman's ballads. What a useless pill. So in the morning, though, I got ready and ate my cornflakes that had been passed into my cell. My door opened. Medication at 8:30ish. I don't even have medication, but they love to just open my door and disturb me saying this. So instead, I was just wandered about on the wing for a while. Eventually, Ahmed was let out with medication, who doesn't even take medication, same as me, so we just hung about. I asked them for news from the outside, with them getting a TV last night and having somebody to call. Yeah, so Ahmed, what day is this? Day 9. Ahmed actually got a TV. So I was like, what the heck has happened out in the world? Tell me, have you watched the news? Like, what's happened? Yeah, and just like to hear from them, because they had actually called people and I hadn't at this point either. Apparently, Britain stated that they will actually arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he enters the UK after all. It is actually the terrorists and the war criminals like them who should be here, not us. Obviously, I believe this whole arrest thing is performative by Britain, but his arrest would/could help our case. Despite agreeing to the warrant, I'm sure that Britain is still trading the weapons of which he's using to commit the crimes against humanity that led to his arrest warrant. Ahmed and I discussed communism, anti-communism, China, the USSR, and theory as well as Islam, while we watched lads getting a trim on the wing. That's the haircuts for people who don't know slang. We had like 3 hours social. It felt like it lasted like 5 hours though. I gave the end of one of my caps, so this is literally the remnants of what was left in my vape, to one of the fellas on the wing to charge me vape with their USB plug in their pad. But they told me to keep hold of the plug until tomorrow when I get mine, as they can charge theirs and their TV using just the USB. The new religion maker from yesterday asked/begged me to swap a cap for their roast dinner later. Absolutely bonkers. For dinner, I got a thickly cut slice of corned beef bun, 2 Biscoff biscuits, a supercar mate, and a squash sachet. I'll probably try to nap after a few of the bourbon creams I got yesterday, being that there's nothing else to do for about 4 hours until social. Goodness gracious, what a time. After a nap and a wait, I got washed and hung out on the wing. 30 minutes later, Ahmed was let out, being that they had a phone. I tried to call my mum to check in and ask to arrange an in-person meet with my solicitor, on account that the prison denied a phone call with my solicitor, but a meeting they can't legally deny. I also wanted to instruct my mum to buy my son's Christmas present, top my canteen up, and keep the rest of me money to herself. I wish I could invest in crypto, especially if I'm here for the hungry. But that number that I tried to call was denied, as well as me friends and my solicitors. And maybe tomorrow, when it's not a weekend, I'll have better luck. Ahmed practically lost all their social, being banged up in the cell for no reason whatsoever. Screws just sometimes forget about you in your cell. It was weird. So it was dinner time. I took my sleeping pill and joined Ahmed for prayer on the wing. Obviously our cells are too small for the both of us to pray. The fellow who loaned me the USB plug asked why we prayed there. Was it because of acoustics, etc.? But we just told them that no, it's just literally a matter of space. They told us that they were telling others to be quiet around us. It's an impossible feat, but we were grateful nonetheless. For tea, it was rice, gravy, and diced carrots with seasoned chicken leg and thigh. It was peng, with cake and custard for dessert too. I added the rest of my golden syrup cake to my custard, all while avoiding sharing my vape with 6 people. 3 even asked if I had empty vapes, presuming that they smoked spice with it, which is gross. Now we've eaten everything. I'll have my squash I'll have my squash sachet to wash it down. Also, Ahmed was the mystery tea bag dropped in my pad last night. I feel as helpful as I've been for their first time in. Their brotherhood has been much more significant for me than I suppose I've been helpful for them.
Thank you for tuning in to Diary of a Political Prisoner. What was a short list for you was a period of time in prison for me. So please make sure that you subscribe on whatever podcast player you're listening on to be notified of future episodes. Each episode was recorded in a prison cell as I'm held on remand for allegedly being involved in a Palestine action to disrupt and destroy weapons in a genocidal Israeli arms factory under Section 5 of the Terrorism Act. My diary is a podcast only to give you something in the hope that you can give help and support to my mum and son, which I can't do by any other means from prison. In supporting them, for £5 a month, you can get a week's worth of episodes in advance every Monday. For £10 a month, you'll get the week's worth of episodes. Plus, I'll respond to any question you have in a monthly question and answer episode on my Patreon at patreon.com/politicalprisonerpod. For £25 a month, our humanitarian aid tier, you get all of the above while knowing my little boy is supported and happy. One-time donations can be made by emailing or messaging my producer on social media. Media/collaboration inquiries are on the same line as senders and inbox. If you can't support me, family, in my absence, please follow the podcast on Instagram if you're going to be listening. Please follow on Twitter, all of our socials. Our handle is Diary Pol Prisoner. Please share them and this podcast with your friends. It's free to do and it helps this project grow. You can also send me a prisoner email or letters, drawings, anything like that. Links to everything mentioned can be found in the podcast description below. Thank you, love and solidarity.